So today we will discuss regarding vermiform appendix. What is vermiform appendix? Why appendix is called as vermiform? As the name denotes that vermiform is the term derived from worm. Okay, so it looks like worm, so it will be called as vermiform appendix. So it is named as, due to its structure like worm, it is called as vermiform appendix. And what is appendix is, it is a diverticulum which is arising from posterior medial wall of cecum, and it is about 2 cm below to ileocecal orifice. Okay, so what is dimensions of the appendix? So the length may vary from person to person. So length of appendix starts from 2 cm to 20 cm, and the average length may be up to 9 cm. One thing important in the length of appendix is that the length of appendix is more in children than in adults, as well as the diameter is about 5 mm, and the lumen of the appendix is quite narrow, and it may be obliterated after mid-adult life. So now we will discuss regarding the positions of appendix. As because appendix is a free, tip is free, but its base is fixed. So whenever the tip is directing towards anything, means the direction of the tip may be different. As per the direction of tip of the appendix, the names are different and the position is fixed. So whenever appendix pass upwards and to the right, then it will be called as paracolic position, and it will denote as 11 o'clock position. So whenever you see a watch, so wherever is 11 o'clock position of the tip of the appendix, that position will be called as paracolic position. And if the same thing happens at 12 o'clock position, where it is behind the cecum or colon, so it is called as retrocecal position, and the position at the watch will be clockwise 12 o'clock position. So this position what we are discussing as retrocecal, this is most common position of appendix, and it is found minimum in 65% of individuals. And the position which is around 2 o'clock position, in which appendix passes upwards and to the left, and it points towards the spleen, so it will be called as splenic position or 2 o'clock position. But whenever appendix lies in front of the ileum, so it is called as periileal position, and whenever it lies behind the ileum, so it will be called as postileal. So periileal is only in 1% subjects, that will be 3 o'clock position, and postileal will be 0.4% in individuals, and it will be very rare. And whenever it goes to 3 o'clock position, that position will be horizontally to the left to the sacral promontory, and it will be called as promontoric or 3 o'clock position. Whenever the tip of the appendix comes towards 4 o'clock position, then it will come into the pelvis, and it will be called as pelvic appendix or pelvic position of the appendix. And whenever the tip of the appendix come towards 6 o'clock position as per clock, so it will point towards the inguinal ligament, and it will be called as mid inguinal or 6 o'clock position. So you just keep in mind these things. There are positions of appendix as per the direction of tip. So in diagram also you can see the thing clearly. So the positions now: paracolic, retrocolic, splenic, promontoric, and pelvic, and subcecal or mid-inguinal. And whatever is splenic is there, so it may be periileal or postileal. Okay. So now we will discuss regarding appendicular orifice. The appendicular orifice, which is situated on the posteromedial aspect of cecum, 2 cm below to the ileocecal orifice. So appendicular orifice is situated on the posteromedial aspect of cecum, 2 cm below to ileocecal orifice. You keep in mind. And the appendicular orifice is occasionally guarded by an indistinct semilunar fold of mucous membrane, which is called as valve of Gerlach. Okay. And this orifice is marked by surface by a point situated 2 cm below to the junction of transtubercular and right lateral planes. Okay. And the important point whatever we are discussing now is that is McBurney's point. The McBurney's point is the site where the maximum tenderness in appendicitis is felt by the patient. So here important term is tenderness and McBurney. So at which point patient feels maximum tenderness in case of appendicitis, that point is called as McBurney's point. So what is McBurney's point? So McBurney's point is an important landmark. For this we have to draw an imaginary line from anterior right-sided anterior superior iliac spine to umbilicus. What are the imaginary line we are drawing? We have to divide it in lateral 1/3 and medial 2/3. Means we have to divide it into two parts, 2/3 medially and laterally 1/3. So the joining point, what it comes for medial 2/3 and lateral 1/3, that particular point will be called as McBurney's point. So in that particular point the patient will feel maximum tenderness. Okay. So the lumen of appendix, as I told earlier, that it is very quite small in size and may be obliterated or completely obliterated after mid-adult life. So the peritoneal relations of appendix, it is suspended by a small triangular fold of peritoneum which is called as mesoappendix or appendicular mesentery. Blood supply to the appendix is appendicular artery, which is a branch of lower division of ileocolic artery, and venous drainage from appendix is drained by appendicular, ileocolic and superior mesenteric veins to the portal vein. And nerve supply is sympathetic nerves are derived from thoracic 9th and 10th segments through celiac plexus, and parasympathetic nerves are derived from vagus. So lymphatic drainage, pass to the directly to the ileocolic nodes. Histology of appendix is as lumen is very narrow, so there are no such villi is found in the appendix like small intestine, but the epithelium is having liver crypts of Livercune, and muscular mucosa is here ill defined, and whatever the submucosa layer is there, it is having lymphoid masses, and that lymphoid masses what are there in submucosa layer, they are called abdominal tonsils, and muscularis externa layer is having two layers. In that outermost layer is called a serous layer. Okay, so this was regarding the detailed description of appendix, and the important part of appendix is clinical anatomy of appendix. So this is important as well as study purpose as well as practical purpose. So many of you friends may have doubt that why the appendix, whenever it is a vestigial organ, so why it is needed in body. So I will tell you a joke that once in a class, surgeon was giving lecturer, and one of the student asked the question that then it is why then this organ is vestigial organ, as we studied in all classes from our SSLC or PUC, and up to now we are seeing that this appendix is a vestigial organ. Why it is needed? Why God has created this thing? So surgeon asked lightly and told the students that this appendix is vestigial for patients, not for us. If appendix is not there, then what will occur to our bread and butter? So what we will operate? So for our daily needs, we have to get this appendix, we have to operate this. By this only the surgeon is needed and our life will run. Okay, so we will discuss now about the clinical anatomy of appendix. So inflammation of appendix, whenever inflammation of appendix occurs, this is known as appendicitis. So you keep in mind that whenever there is there is an inflammation, so anatomically that term what denotes, it is added as itis. So if we are adding itis to appendix, so it will be called as appendicitis. So it means that there is an inflammation to appendix, and this is called as appendicitis. So important thing is that appendicitis occurs usually in teenage or adolescent age. So in this condition, what happens? The surgery is done. What I have discussed about surgeon's note, that surgery is done, and whenever any part is removed, the term is used as tomy. So if we are removing this appendix from body, so it will be called as appendicectomy. Okay, and this was one of the clinical anatomy of appendix. So next we will discuss the next clinical anatomy, that whenever pain is caused by appendicitis due to appendicitis, it is first felt in the region of umbilicus, and this is a referred pain because appendix is supplied by T10 of spinal cord, and whenever pain is felt in the right iliac fossa, it occurs due to increasing inflammation into the right iliac fossa region. So whenever the pain due to appendix is felt, it is felt first in the umbilicus region, then it is coming to right iliac fossa due to peritoneal inflammation. And here also you keep in mind that whatever two types of are there of peritoneum, one is parietal peritoneum and one is visceral peritoneum. In that only parietal peritoneum is sensitive to pain, but visceral peritoneum is not sensitive to pain. And some of the things that why appendicitis is common, because lymphatic follicles in some mucosa are present, and appendicular artery what is there, it is an end artery. End artery means it is completely stops here, there is no further anastomosis to appendicular artery, and the lumen of appendix is very small, and any fecalith or any obstruction occurs to this appendix, it will lead it to its infection. And there are gaps in muscular externa which causes fast spread of infection. So these are some of the reasons why for appendicitis. And one more point what I have discussed earlier about McBurney's point. So McBurney's point is the site of maximum tenderness in appendicitis. So you keep in mind what I have discussed, what is the imaginary line, and what is about 1/3 and 2/3. So you keep in mind. And whenever you are going for an examination of a acute appendicitis patient, what you will feel the signs. Okay, I am discussing about physical signs. So you will feel that patient is having hyperesthesia in the right iliac fossa, tenderness will be there at McBurney's point. Keep in mind, tenderness is felt by a physician or a doctor, while the pain is expressed by patient. Same thing here, tenderness will be at the McBurney's point. And rebound tenderness over the appendix means, when we are discussing about the rebound tenderness, we will give pressure to the left iliac fossa region. While we will just press the left iliac fossa region by our hand, patient will not feel any type of pain or tenderness. But when we will take away our hand, at that time patient will feel pain at the right iliac fossa region. So this is called as rebound tenderness. So it is also a important physical sign to understand or to diagnose appendix. Next point of clinical anatomy is that whenever the appendix is retrocecal in nature, so the extension of the hip joint may cause pain because the appendix is disturbed by stretching of psoas major muscle. So you keep in mind. And next one is that whenever appendix is pelvic in nature, so the pain will be felt when the thigh is flexed because obturator internus muscle is stressed. Next clinical anatomy of appendix is that appendicular dyspepsia. Whenever patient gets acute signs of appendicitis, but it is subsided by some type of medicines, so it will turn into chronic appendicitis or subacute appendicitis, and it will cause dyspepsia, which will be resembling disease of stomach, duodenum or gallbladder, and it is due to passage of infected lymph to subpyloric nodes, which causes irritation to pylorus. So this is also an important clinical anatomy feature. So you keep in mind. If any doubts are there, you let me know. So this is final. Thank you one and all. Thank you.